Hey guys, Mark Lyon here, Lion Horses. Today I got a little topic for our Tuesday tip, and this one is going to be about never and always. And so my last Friday philosophy, I told you guys I was going to explain some of the rules that we hear. Maybe people say never and always, and yeah, not really true. And so anyway, one of the things I mentioned, there's a friend of mine had a saying about rules, and he said rules are for the strict adherence of fools and children, and the careful consideration of thoughtful people. And so anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, you've heard never wrap the rope around your hand, particularly in horses. You know, you'll have a lunge line or something, and they'll say never wrap the rope around your hand, or a lead rope. And yeah, good. It's a good rule, particularly for children and idiots. And if you don't know why, you shouldn't do it. And so I was at a clinic the other day, and horse was kind of jerking on the lead rope a little bit, and so I stepped in to help the lady do a little groundwork, and I took a wrap around my hand, and the people were aghast, and they said, you know, why would you do that? Don't wrap the rope around your hand. And I said, oh, well, yeah. If you don't know why or how you can, then you shouldn't. So today I'm here to hopefully give you guys a little bit of information on that. I'm not telling you to do it until you've developed the skill necessary and know the dangers of. So one of the things, they said you should never wrap the rope around your hand. And I said, oh, really? I said, so when I'm roping, I have a bunch of coils here. I think there's 9 in this one, but normally there'll be at least 3 or 4 or 5. Even with a short rope, this happens to be a little bit longer. This happens to be a 60-footer that I normally rope cows and sometimes horses with. So yeah, even when you're roping, you're gonna have 2, 3, 4, 5 coils wrapped around your hand. And you know, what about that? Is that okay? Shouldn't, never wrap the rope around your hand. And so anyway, it's important to know the difference and why. So the reason it's okay for me to have my coils like this is because as they pay off, each coil comes off there. So the problem is if I turn this thing around like this, now the coils are stacked from this side to this side, and so now it's gonna bind on the next one, and it's not going to come off, and yeah, you're going to get in trouble. Like that's going to be a problem. So we're going to show you with a lead rope here the difference. Put that down here. I've got my lead rope. I just tied it to the little gate panel here. So when I go to take a wrap, now the reason I would is because my grip strength isn't tight enough to hold onto the rope, and I need a little extra friction. So in the case of an emergency, you'd want to be able to open your hand and let that rope come off. So if you wrap the rope around your hand like this, you can see that's how it's wrapped. I can hold on to it way better. Okay? Now, sometimes horses go to jerk away from you, and you don't want them to jerk your arm off at your shoulder or deglove your hand, or there's, you know, some definitely things that can be bad. So the important thing to remember is if you let go, as you let go, that thing's gonna slide off right there. Just gonna come off your hand. Now, the danger is when this piece, this tail, gets over the top of the other one. Like that. You can see how they're crossed right there. Now the problem with that is, I'm going to shorten this up so you can kind of see a little bit here. So that tail is underneath. Now I'm going to stick it right there, and now I'm just going to keep my hand open and I'm going to pull. And you can see this rope binds on this rope, and it won't let it come through there. So it's not gonna unwrap. It's gonna take your arm off now. It's gonna either deglove your hand, or crush your hand. It's tied on there. That's called a half hitch. And so it's not the same as a dally or a wrap. A half hitch, this working piece goes over the standing piece or the slack, and now it's got a hold of you. Now you can pull on that thing and it's not letting go. So it's important that this piece be stacked like this. And you could even have another wrap. You could even have it like this, right? But as soon as you let go and you start pulling, it's going to come off. So important that when you guys are, some of you will be tempted to take a wrap. Don't do that until you know how it works, how to manage your slack, when it's safe and when it isn't. I just thought it was one of those things that, like I say, it's good to not do things until we know, and there's some definite dangers in wrapping the rope around your hand. And I even debated on whether to show you guys this or not, because it's like you hate to have somebody get hurt because you showed them maybe why the rule wasn't always applicable. So be careful when you guys are doing this. If you aren't absolutely certain you know how to handle this, don't wrap the rope around your hand. But also, if somebody's doing it, doesn't mean that they're disobeying one of the 10 commandments. There is a way to wrap your rope around your hand and still be safe. You just have to know what to do. And so I wanted to show you guys the difference. That way, in case one of you did it, you'd know. So that, like I say, that one's going to get you in trouble where it's crossed over the top there. Make sure like that. Let me come off. So anyway, remember, we're all trying to be the person a horse deserves. Catch you later.